you don't have what it takes. It's a bit of a harsh statement. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely built the way that if you challenge me, if you pique that competitive edge, it's fucking game on. I don't care what it is. I will make sure I fucking win. And when it comes to something like your fitness, like your exercise, like actually following through, many people simply just don't have what it takes on their own. And that's the gap. That we have, well, this miscalculation, this, let's put it bluntly here, a little bit of a delusion about the ability to do it on our own. The ability to actually follow through, to actually put aside the simple pleasures, the things that feel really great in the moment, those sedation things, those things that we use to avoid facing our reality. Hell, even if we are committed or enjoying it or these kinds of things, it's most of the time not at the level that will produce the next level results, well, that you're searching for. And to be fair, I've been there. As you would know, I have been lifting weights for 20 years. Been working out, all that kind of stuff. And I've still been there. More than I would care to admit. And through the wake-up call to do demanding greatness, the wake-up call of undertaking this, it would have been a shit ton fucking easier if I'd had someone on my back. If I'd had someone holding me accountable. If I'd had someone holding me to the standard. Part of the reason why I post every day, part of the reason why I do this every day, is to hold myself to the standard. To make sure that I can't miss, that I can't dip out, that I can't, avoid doing this work. Because, well, let's be realistic here. If you were gonna do it on your own, you would have done it already. That's just the reality of it. Everyone talks about how, they can do it on their own. And I've had this happen with clients, I've had it with prospects, I've had it with this kind of stuff. People are like, I can do it. I know what to do now. Most of the time, the gap isn't the knowledge. The gap is the action. The gap is the follow-through. I had a guy comment the other day and he's like, I love the gym, but I need this. I need the consistency. Yeah. Consistency, intensity, and effort. Those are the three things that are game changers. But most people don't innately have it. And that, as I said, that's not a dig, that's just a fact. That's a reality. Most people are not intrinsically motivated. They are not driven from within, and they are not driven enough from within to get deeply, deeply fucking uncomfortable. Part of the reason why my programs are priced the way they are is not only because let's call a spade, very fucking good at what I do. Been doing this for a very long fucking time. But it's to give you buy-in. It's to give you skin in the game. It's to make sure that it hurts enough that you are willing to do what is required. That you will actually show the fuck up. It's why it's why people sell like $27 programs or, apps or whatever it might be, or downloadable programs at these really low prices, is because, well, it's low enough that they know you won't actually do it. It's low enough that they're like, oh, well, it's also, when you don't do it and you don't get results, it's not worth doing anything about. It's why gyms, like the 24/7 gyms, are priced the way they are. It's called the 90-10 model. It's based on the concept that you can discount your price by 90% because only 10% of your users will actually utilize the service. That's why things like that are cheap. That's why people who invest into their health, into their fitness, into programs with big money, with money that makes them fucking uncomfortable, get incredible fucking results. Because you've got something on the line, you've got skin in the game. As I said, people are completely and utterly fucking delusional about the level of self-discipline, of follow-through, of willpower, and of capacity that they have. I had a guy the other day, and this was the epitome of it. And he was like, look, I've just decided that I don't want to do this. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. What's the reason? Like, I need to learn. I need to learn where I've fucked up. I want to constantly improve. I want to get better and better and better all the time in every area, including business, including the service, including everything I do for you. And he was like, he said to me, oh, well, I just don't want to be sore all the time. I was like, what now? And he's like, yeah, I'm looking at how my life is, and I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to be sore. I'm going to just do some walks. I'm going to play some golf. I'm going to watch what I'm eating, and I think I'll be good. And I was like, right. So one, you've completely misunderstood what the fuck we're doing here. Completely missed the line. If, being slightly sore from your workouts is the deal breaker, I did mess up. I will own that shit, because it means I didn't vet you properly. That you didn't understand what we were doing here. But that's the way he wants to live. And I'm in this, and I was explaining this to my wife, and it's a weird conundrum for me, because part of me just cannot possibly fucking fathom that as a decision. That this is good enough, I'm going to go for some casual walks, I'll smack some balls, and we'll be good to go. A bit of golf, bit of walking, that's enough fitness for my life. Delusional level of fucking acceptability. But on the flip side, I respect the honesty. At least he was honest enough to be like, well, that's too much. It's not worth it to me. Being healthy, strong, fit, being in great shape, being any of those things is not worth it to me. And so he just walked away, left the money, walked away. I was like, okay. But this is the thing that, as I said at the start, most people have a delusional level of what they are capable of what they are able to do. If you had the discipline, if you had the willpower, if you had the capacity to do it, you would have done it already. It would be done. And look, sometimes things change, and that's great when it does. And as I said to you, if you know my story, I had the wake-up calls that forced me to change. I had the moments that was like, holy shit, what are you doing with your life? And it forced me to change. But I had a baseline discipline level already. Played sports my whole life. I'd always done that and always prided myself on it. And yet the comfortability trap caught me. It did. It caught me. And it took serious fucking wake-up calls to pull my head out of my ass and do the work required. Do what was necessary. But I just don't believe most people have that within them. Or if they do, they've lost the way. As I said, this would have been much, much easier if I'd had someone there to hold me accountable, to hold me to that standard, to hold my feet to the fire, to constantly push me forward, to call me out on my own fucking bullshit. Would have been much, much quicker. As I said to you the other day, I got to the point recently where probably gotten better results in the last 6 months than I did in the last 6 weeks than I did in the previous 6 months. And that's because I called myself out on my own bullshit. But it's hard to do that. It's hard to catch yourself on that thing. It's hard to catch yourself in your own validations and excuses and reasons why you aren't doing it. Especially if you're not surrounded by other people like that. If you're already kicking ass and taking names above everybody else, it's really easy to then go, this is enough, and not keep pushing those limits. And that's what demanding greatness is. That I'm going to keep pushing you to the limits. I'm going to keep pushing you forward. I'm going to keep giving you that next level and making sure that you keep elevating. I'm going to keep helping you find that next level. That's what this is about. Look, I am going to teach you technique. I'm going to teach you proper programming. I'm going to teach you how to do all the stuff. I'm going to give you the perfect plan. I'm going to give you the blueprint. But the magic happens in the accountability. Because in theory, and we've discussed this before, you can find programs on YouTube. You could ask ChatGPT. You could do that kind of stuff. You could buy a $27 workout program, all that kind of stuff. Hell, if you just want to do what I do, you could go back through the 470 plus days of content here and find yourself. I've talked about it. I've given in detail exactly what I do. So you can go look up that and just follow along. But if you were gonna do it, you would have done it. And if you were gonna make a permanent change, you would have. Most people just want to change for a little bit, get out of the discomfort, and then come back to where they are. And it's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting there to be a different result. If you keep reverting back to who you were, shockingly, you're going to keep ending up where you were. So demanding greatness is about doing it for the long term. It's about digging in and actually fucking following through. And it's why it's not cheap. It's why you need to pay for this. Because I'm going to hold you to a standard that you've never seen before. I'm going to share that with you, and I'm going to continue sharing my own journey with you. And because of that, you get to the results faster. As I said, if I'd reached this level at the beginning of this, I think my results would have been game changing. But nonetheless, I went down 30 kilos in the first 126 days. I'm now in better shape than I've ever been in my entire life at nearly 34. Working full time in my gym, doing this, 2 young children, all the stuff. And showing up better than I ever have before. And I accelerate the results for my clients. One of my clients lost 20 kilos in 6 weeks. 20 kilos in 6 weeks. The results are there if you're willing to invest into yourself. And investment's not just the money. It's not just the money. It's the time. It's the effort, the intensity. It's investing into you. The thing that dictates everything else. It's not a cost. It's an investment. This is the one where people have to change their mindset around things. A cost is when you gain nothing from it. An investment is when you get a ROI on it. You get a return on investment. And investing into you, nothing fucking compares to that. But the majority of people never will. The majority of people will never put their money where their mouth is. They won't admit that they don't have what it takes to do the work. They won't admit that they don't have the follow through to actually get this shit done. And to be honest, I don't think there's anything wrong with admitting it. But after that, it's about what you do next. Yeah, admit that you don't have the follow through. That's all right. This is a skill. It's what demanding greatness is about. It's a fucking skill to have discipline. It's a skill to show up every single day. It's a skill to be a man of your word. And it's a skill that must be trained consistently over and over and over and over again. And if you don't have that right now, yeah, that's all right. But once you admit that you don't have it, once you recognize and you've looked the man in the mirror and gone, shit, I don't have those skills, now we have a fucking problem. If you continue to live that way, knowing that you don't have it, knowing that you aren't living out your best life, you aren't being the best version, now we have a fucking problem. And now you need to change. And now you need to do better. And now you need to elevate the game. That's the separator. That's the difference maker. That's where we need to get to. Then you need to either shut up and put up, or admit that you don't have it and pay someone to do it. And honestly, at the end of the day, pay someone. Accelerate the process. Make it happen quicker. That's why you pay someone, to deliver that result faster. As I said, I wish I'd had someone here to do it for me. I wish I had someone here to hold me accountable, to hold me to the standard, to provide that framework and continue to push me forward. Most programs aren't actually that special. What it is the level of accountability to make you do the fucking work. That's it. That is the actual answer to it. Will it hold you to the standard to make sure you do it? And obviously there are degrees of that. Like my 1-to-1 is 10 grand. But you'll be a different fucking human being on the other side of that. Unquestionably. Because you got skin in the game. Now it's game fucking time. And it's time to do that shit. But you have to be held to the fire. You have to be pushed to the limit. You have to be shown what is actually possible. And I guarantee you, you are capable of so much more than you are giving yourself credit for. Like unbelievably more than you are giving yourself credit for. The only question becomes, are you willing to put your money where your mouth is? Are you willing to invest into you? Are you willing to invest time, money, effort, and intensity for an extended period of time? As I said, I can deliver results really quickly. I can. But honestly, that's not what it's about. It's a really nice byproduct. But what this is about you becoming the greatest version of yourself. About you stepping into your power, becoming a man of your word, and doing what is required so that you can show up better, so that you can be better, so that you can change the game for yourself, for your family, for your kids, for your wife, for all those who believe in you. And it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be life-changing. So if you are ready to finally step up and do that, if you're ready to step into the game, if you aren't afraid of being held to the fire and actually following the fuck through and seeing who you could be, click the link in my bio or shoot me a message and let's see who you can become on the other side of demanding greatness.